Okay, let's keep going, let's keep going. Okay. Right, we're back to where we were here. And now we go back towards the light again. Okay. It is impossible to tell how much time has passed. In the world above, perhaps the sun has gone down and the stars have come out, but down here, all that you know is that the people of Kare are still throwing their slops into the grates. The water underfoot stinks, and the ducts above your head rain with thick filth. And we reach a junction. Just what we needed. So we can go to the right, or we can go to the left. I'm going to go to the left because it looks like it's quicker, which means it's probably going to be the most dangerous, but hellfire, we're going to risk it. There are no ladders up from this stretch of sewer. You might have walked more than the whole width of the city by now, and be out under the backlands themselves. What if the sewer forms a great circle and you are simply walking around and around, slowly, carving a deeper channel for the filth? Uh-oh. You emerge into a small chamber, where a knee-deep pool of sewage has collected. The liquid is bubbling, and as you watch, a shape rises from the water. It is the smooth hide of a slime eater. It roars, gobbing slime and goo at you. Okay. Let's see if we can cast a useful spell this time. Okay, we've got a bit of a selection here. We can go with Zap, I suppose. It's going to be... okay, so we've got Zip, Teleportation, or we've got Zap, which of course is a bolt of lightning. Alright. Let's have a look. We've got some D spells. Dop, which opens locks. Maybe we don't need that just yet. We could go for Doze, which is causes slowness. That could be handy actually. We could try that. Let's have a look at some T spells. What's this? Tell? Read minds? No. Not useful. Right about now. Some G spells. Gob. Summon a goblin. Highly appropriate for our location, I feel. A couple of P spells. Pep. Cause strength. Or... Pop. Cause explosions. Okay. How about some R spells? Do we have B spells? No. Oh, you can go... Oh, sorry. I've completely lost my train of thought now. What's going on here? Talk all languages. Sharpen blade. Raz. Let's get our blade nice and sharp for a slime. Perhaps not. We've also got some Y spells. Wait a second. All this time I didn't know you can actually spin the flipping letters around to make it easy to click on the damn things. All this flipping time. Can you believe that? Right. Okay. Jig. Do you think we can get a... Do you think we can get a slime to dance to a tune? Perhaps not. Right. I'm thinking... I wanted to see the Y spells. Yob. Summon a giant would be useful right about now. Could help us out. Or we've got... Yap. Talking. Talking with animals. No. I'm thinking slowness is probably... possibly a good idea. What's Dop? Open lock and doors right now. It's either that or Zap, and I'm thinking this is less stamina, so let's cast it and see what happens. Oh my god, it's got far more hit points than we have, which means we have to utterly be completely and utterly up for this fight. Can you... What happened there? Okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering if we can use potions in the middle of battle. Apparently this should make the slime easier to defeat. by casting the slowness spell. I don't know how it's going to work, but I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go full gnashings. Bang! The Slime Eater growls at you, filth and fetid waste spilling from between its bubbling lips. Killing it quickly would be your best chance of avoiding losing your last meal. You swing your sword in a mighty arc. The Slime Eater skulks in the water, then rises up and charges. You drop, chopping into its body, cutting in deeply, its flesh beginning to boil strangely. It drops under the water, almost out of sight. Would that be enough to hit it again? I think so. It defends, but we still hit it for 3. Is that to do with the slowness, maybe? Standing firm, you swing a mighty blow at the Slime Eater. Low in the water, the monster escapes mostly unharmed. It lifts up from the water, then crashes back down, bits of its body bubbling and boiling. And I am now going to defend myself. You can almost smell the creature growing enraged and duck quickly backwards through the sewer. You are not a moment too soon. Emitting a foul goblet of filth from between its blubbery lips, the Slime Eater thumps forward, hoping to pull you apart. It disappears into the sewer, almost invisible. Right. That should be enough to hit it if it attacks us. I don't think it's got more than 4.5. It defends again, though. You risk an attack. Dropping your weight, you chop a heavy stroke against the Slime Eater, but you cannot swipe through the sludge with enough force to do the creature harm. It staggers backwards into the filthy water, screaming and howling as we defend again. You sense the creature getting angry and drop quickly into a crouch. Your defence saves you. Moving fast and sloppily, the Slime Eater rushes for you, hoping to pull you apart as we then go with a counter-attack and cut it down. The smell is getting worse. Rushing forward, you charge at the Slime Eater. The Slime Eater roars up, exposing a soft area beneath its chin. You strike with your sword, and it sinks in deep, bringing a fountain of thick green ooze. And then silence. Skilled swordplay. Not what we exhibited against the snake. Alright. Beyond the Slime Eater. Let's get the hell out of here. Further on, the sewer ends, and a walkway opens on the right. You step gratefully out of the filth and muck into a low tunnel, and hopefully we can get out of here. You arrive in a dead-end passageway, but there is light here, shining from above. You look up to see a hole in the roof of the sewer, and even better, there is a rope with a bucket hanging from the gap. You have found a disused well. Test the rope. It seems to be firm, so we climb up. The first few feet are wonderful. Filth runs clear from your legs, but the rest of the climb is long and makes for hard work. Halfway up, you stop for a rest. We pray for aid. I don't think he's going to come. Maybe he will. We'll pray again. Very good. That'll do. Keep climbing. You continue the climb. It takes maybe half an hour of inching your way up the rope, but eventually you reach the top. You are indeed climbing out through a well into the open air. You take a deep lungful, expecting crisp, fresh air, but what you get is stale and dusty. Where are you now? Good question. Ah! You have emerged from the sewers back into the necropolis, close to its far gate. The sun is beginning to set already behind the city wall to the north. You must be close to the gate now. Right, okay. So, back up here. Are we going to get the opportunity to go back up to this place? No, we're not. We've been and seen, and we can't go again. So it's onwards to the gate. Through the forest. You walk between clawing trees and thick bushes. The north gate is finally in sight. You can see its imposing, ornately carved wooden doors over the top of the guard huts and low buildings that lie at the end of the road. You pause to watch the guard huts. They seem quite still. One has a hole in its roof. Weed grows through the chimney of another. Are they abandoned? But between here and there is a long road, lined by thick and gloomy trees, a patch of wild forest like you haven't seen since the hills. We shall go cautiously, making sure your feet do not crunch too loudly on the gravel. Something catches your eye, movement in the shadows on both sides of the road, torchlight. Stop and look. You stop, ducking into the shadows, and watch. Whatever is moving in the darkness, there are a lot of them. Then a gleam of moonlight catches one, and you see it clearly. A wolf, clad in tight metal armour. No, a werewolf. And the armour is the same as the one you saw before in the ship. It sniffs the air. It has caught your stink. The foul air of the sewer still clings to your clothes and hair. No matter, you have defeated werewolves before. Indeed we have. Indeed we have. But now can we use a potion? Yes, we could prepare ourselves for a fight here, which I will do. Blimberry potion. And we could ready a spell, or we could wait to see what happens. It's gonna find us. It can smell us. We should get the upper hand here as quickly as possible. You open your mind to the patterns of the stars above, but just at the last moment you freeze. One werewolf you could probably defeat with a spell, but suddenly there are more. 10, 20, 30 werewolves pad down from the shadows onto the path, forming an arc in front of you. Oh, we're screwed here. We're gonna... wait. You wait, tense and ready to run if necessary. Then you notice a man stepping from the tree line beyond. Who goes there? He demands. Friend or foe? Friend! The man does not respond. It is clear he is waiting for something. But what for? I know Vic! The man raises an eyebrow. I hear he's a dangerous man, he says slowly, watching your expression as he speaks. But honourable? If he were here, that might mean something, the man replies. A pulsing vein at the man's temple gives away his fear. Perhaps he has never killed before, but with a swift motion of his hands, he gestures to his dogs. They bound forward, two catching your wrists in slavering jaws, holding them tightly but firmly. One flick of my finger, he says, voice shaking, and you'll never lift so much as a fork again. Now, give me a straight answer. Are you with us or against us? I am with you. Then tell me the passphrase, the man replies, before I'm forced to take the throat of a friend. Oh, shoot. Cast a spell. We don't know any passphrases. Okay. I don't know what's going to help us here, but something has to help us. Come on. Come on, Heinrich. Think. Think. Dim. Causes stupidity. Oh, we've got werewolves gripping our arms. Okay, we shall speak the truth. I don't know it. So, he says, You're a late recruit to our cause. Well, it isn't too late. The fee to join us," he pauses a moment as he sizes up what you're worth, "for you, 25 gold pieces. I don't have that much." The man looks at you for a long moment, trying to decide if you're lying to him. Finally he says, "Then I'll take your money pouch." "Take it." You nod, indicating the pouch at your waist. The man takes it, tips it upside down, and shakes it. Nothing comes out. "I see I misread you," he remarks. "You're just another beggar. Well dressed perhaps, but no better than the rest of us." He throws back your empty money pouch and gestures for the wolves to release you. "Stay clear of the city tonight, beggar," he declares, "and if anyone asks, make sure your loyalties lie with Vic." With that, he whistles to his wolves and sweeps away into the night. You breathe a heavy sigh of relief. Holy mackerel. Well, he's no Fedoran when it comes to silver tongues, is he? Okay, to the North Gate then, where all hell is about to break loose. We've got a goblin invasion, we've got Vic and his werewolves. This city is in for a bloody mass brawl, and hopefully in that brawl and in the fury we can just hopefully stride out of open gates, perhaps. You have reached the North Gate. The ground before it is wide and clear, and lit by blazing torches set into brackets either side of the enormous sealed doors. Should there be archers hiding in the shadows, they would have clear sight on you. Off to one side is a well, but there is no other cover. You don't know any of the spell lines, of course, but perhaps the gate will open to a dop spell after all? I don't believe it will. So we're going to wait and watch. You wait in the shadows and watch. If the guards are patrolling, you should be able to learn their patterns, but strangely there seems to be no guards here at all. Perhaps because the gate is locked, no one bothers to guard it anymore? Throwing caution to the wind, you step out of the shadows and approach the gate. Time to see how good your lock-picking skills really are. And I'd say, not very good, I imagine. You reach the other side of the clearing unscathed and stand below the enormous doors. We try to use brute force. You hear a scrabbling noise in the distance. There seems to be nothing more you can do. You wait, wondering if anything will change. Suddenly, you are not alone. A phantom voice issues from the wood itself. "Halt, stranger," it booms. "Do you know the spell which controls the gate?" I do not. You reply honestly. The voice begins to laugh. "Then the gate denies you," replies the voice. From across the clearing you hear a scrabbling sound of metal moving over stone. You look around but see nothing. Look at the shadows by the wall. You gaze into the shadows by the wall, expecting from the sound to see guardsmen sneaking along and dragging the points of their swords across the stones behind them, but there is nothing there. Then you hear a cry, and you whip round to see a face emerging from the well shaft in the corner of the clearing. It bears the leering hook-to smile of a goblin. The creature is climbing a rope with a grappling hook attached, which is hooked over the lip of the well. You turn to run, aiming to find somewhere you can hide and watch what unfolds, but then you realise that you are running for your life, as goblin after goblin clambers from the well and begins to race across the clearing towards you. There is no way you can fight 100 goblins, so you dash aside into the shadows. It's all kicking off, folks. The goblins pour up to the gate, and are they going to try and ram it? But then they stop, and in their midst a small figure is being propelled forward. It is the Mad King. He is surrounded by a guard of nearly 20 goblins. We could try and kill him and end this charade right here and now, but I think we should let the action unfold. Amongst the chaos, hopefully, we can slip away. You hang back, watching as the figure nears the gate. Leaning down to the lock, he whispers something, but you cannot hear what he says. A moment later, the gate begins to move. It is opening. You hang back watching. Looking through, you make out figures in the darkness beyond the gate. Marsh goblins, thousands of them, screaming and armed for war. They begin to race forwards, pouring through the gate, filling the clearing and meeting their hill cousins in a loud and violent celebration. The man with the circlet at the gate cries with glee. "A new day for Carre begins," he cries, clambering onto the shoulders of a nearby goblin as though about to make a speech. Quite suddenly, the goblins that are carrying him let go. He cries out as he falls to the ground. A sword goes up. There is a scream. They have murdered their own king. What is going on here? The circlet from his head rolls to your feet. The goblins, clashing sword on shield, look toward the city with violent eyes, and we can't help ourselves but we take the circlet for ourselves. Could be a thing of power. Maybe the crown of kings itself. But no, it's cheap. Hammered iron. It still bears the groove from when it was once a goblin sword. You toss it into the dust and we maintain our presence in the shadows for now. We don't want to miss that opportunity to get out of here, though, like we did when we first encountered the goblins. You hang back in the shadow of the gate. More and more goblins are surging in, and they are starting to organise. One, a leader of some kind, is hoisted up by others so he can address the crowd. "Carre falls," he screams in his guttural voice, "and every creature dies." Perhaps when their rampage has begun, you will be able to slip out through the gate and continue your mission. So long as you are willing to let Carre burn, well, do you know what? We are not beholden to this place. We have no ties to this place. This place has been an absolute nightmare. It can burn for all we care. You hover in the shadows near the gate. "Carre is ours!" screams their leader, and with a clash of swords, the army begins to march down the road into the city. We could follow them. We could watch the drama unfold. Or we could wait for them to pass and slink out through the open door, which seems a much better prospect to me. There is nothing you can do to prevent them. You stand in the clearing and watch as the army pours away into the city. You hear their guttural song echoing through the night. A few minutes later, you see flames where they have torched the trees. It will take them an hour, perhaps, to pass through the necropolis into the market and the Red Quarter, and from there, God only knows what hell will break loose. However, it will not be our problem. For broke and still starving, we have our exit. You turn to open the gate, or to the open gate rather. Beyond lies the Backlands, and the rest of your journey. Carre will have to burn, but you will not fail to recover the crown. Oh no. You stride for the gate with a purpose. Then a voice rings out. "Stop! There is a better way." You look around but can see no one. But all around you, something is happening. The marsh goblins entering the gate have slowed down. Their warmongering becoming an absurd, stately dance. The noise in the clearing dulls to a low rumble. "I commanded you to stop," the voice cries, and suddenly you feel yourself held rigid. From the smoke of the torches by the gate, a figure emerges. "Who are you?" You call out. "Do you not recognise me?" the voice replies. It is an old man with a long beard and deep black irised eyes. He paces through the churning goblin army to stand in the open. His legs disappear into a spectral trail. He is at least part wraith. "Step forward," he commands, and you find yourself bidden. The hell? "I have aligned 3 stars, the ghostly man declares. "Vic rises tonight. The goblins show their hand tonight. But also you. You are here tonight. Suddenly you recognize his face. It is Lorag the scholar. We meet again, he says. It has not been long for you. For me, it has been centuries upon centuries. I have founded a city, and now I intend to save it. Lorag? How is this possible? You demand. I met you, or a man that looked like you, in a house mere hours ago. I saw Kare was falling. Sansas had lost his mind and sided with the goblins. The council was in ruins. My own life was threatened. I saw that Kare needed to be saved, so I went back to remake it in a way that could be saved. And here we are now. You have been here 2 days. I have been here hundreds of years, waiting for you to bring me the spell for the gate. But the gate is already open. You reply. The goblins opened it. Their leader did. The figure slowly shakes his head. The spell does not open the gate. His tone is heavy and dark, like tarred timber. The spell controls it, and there are deep magics burned into the wood itself, magics that have poisoned this city and burnt fire into the eyeballs of those who live nearby. He stares at you, his cold black eyes expressing no emotion. Deep magics I place there to be used by you tonight. I am dead. You must act for me. How can I find the spell lines? I travelled this city and learned nothing. The wizard nods. The lines are known to 4 nobles. Lord Theta is blind and living in the wastelands of Upper Kare. Lord Shinva is dead, but not yet forgotten, in his mausoleum in the necropolis. Lord Mulas was a follower of the god Slang, and in his shrine near the docks of Lower Kare you may learn his line. As for my line, I give it to you freely. Tumblers, 2 sealed deep inside. Wow. As much as we would just like to stride through the open gate right now, I think that Heinrich is thinking that, as things currently stand, we don't have a choice here. He's not asking us. It is like he is commanding us, and if we do not obey, this ancient wraith of hundreds of years could probably strike us down where we stand. I will go back. You tell him. I will try to save your city. Know this, Lorag replies. To go back will weaken you. A body is only made to hold one soul. He waits for that information to sink in. If you will allow me, he says, I will bend time itself so that you may return to the city and find the spell for the gate. So, shall you take the adventure, or will you leave Kare to burn? Understand also, he adds darkly, I will curse you in the journey to follow if you do not assist me. You hesitate. Kare is a city of traps, but also of secrets, and there is still more that you might find. Can you afford to let the city port burn? Wow. So the game is quite clever how it's done this. The game is giving us an opportunity to almost retrace our steps, but armed with information that allows us to gather the appropriate spell lines. And he's talking about bending time, so I'm wondering if we can actually go right back and explore the city from scratch, knowing what we do now. Would that prove to be pretty useful? I think it might. So we could leave now, cursed, broke, and starving, within an inch of our life. Or we could go back, armed with powerful knowledge, and potentially become a hero, a saviour of a city. Well, 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 I wonder what Heinrich's going to do. Find out next time, because now is an appropriate place to leave the session. So, to see what Heinrich's going to do, join me next time. See you soon.